got a special guest in the building. We'll let him introduce himself. But first, you know, it's always your boy B.
Debo.
EJ.
I'm the special guest tonight, the cowboy politician.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to jump into this cowboy talk. How do y'all feel about how the offense is currently rolling? It seemed like something's changed since the first quarter of the season. So how do y'all feel about that?
We'll let you go first, politician.
Yeah, I mean, the offense hasn't been really a big problem overall. Mm-hmm. I know everybody give McCarthy slack about the play calling, but if you look at the plays, there's open players all the time. So I ain't gonna mince no words. Mr. Prescott is always in my doghouse.
Right, I'm about to say. I mean, that's an obvious point to somebody in particular.
Right. So he's in my doghouse on a regular basis. He played a decent game. The big thing to me, what worries me is our away game. That home game looks real good. That crowd, it's about time. You know, Cowboy fan for a long time and not having a crowd, home field advantage is a problem. But
you finally got a home field advantage.
Finally got it. Now let's take this game on the road. So I'm big up on that. The Cardinals game was a fluke. I think they were really missing Diggs out there. I don't know what happened to the 49ers game. They weren't prepared for it, but so far so good. Otherwise, I think this is going to be our real true test. But I think the offense is clicking on all cylinders as long as we're passing the ball. Run game needs work. Run game needs work. And, you know, Pollard, I don't.
What do you think the root cause of that is, though?
You know, honestly, I mean, some of that's consistency of blocking, but really it's scheme. Man, if I look at the way McCarthy schemes the pass game, it's phenomenal. If I look at the way he schemed that run game, you know, Pollard is not an in between the guards, you know, type of runner. You know, he got to be outside. And they trying to run him up the middle like he's Zeke, which we'll get into this topic a little later in terms of the trade deadline. My disappointment there. So, but I'll let the rest of the team tell me what they thought about the offense. But for me, I'm mediocre on the offense overall. I like the pass game as long as we can get the ball out of our hands. But there's some things about the pass game that worry me, and that's that pass protection. I mean, first 3 plays of the game, Dak was sacked last week. One of them got called back, so he had 4 sacks overall in the game. So they got it cleaned up, but I think a little bit of that was the Rams just ran out of gas once we start putting it to them. So that ain't gonna happen in Philly.
Nah, right. They got more dogs on top of dogs and more dogs coming.
Exactly. And they got real dogs too. Huh? And they got real dogs.
Yeah, they got real dogs, legit. No doubt. How about y'all?
Shout out to the Bulldogs.
Oh, true. And your boy.
That's my boys.
Yeah. How about y'all too, Dad? You want to go? Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, I agree with what you said. When we started out the season offensively, of course, in the first 2 games is not a really good barometer to measure anything by, but you know, we thought we were doing okay, and then we got slapped side the head and figured out that we had some serious problems offensively. I think that going forward we'll evolve from what we saw last week. I like McCarthy's that he was flexible enough to change and realize something ain't held right up in here. Right. And things that we all talk about, but it's good to see for a change they start to do something about it. Right. So, you know, I feel going forward, and, you know, I know the elephant in the room is always Dak, but I feel really confident that going forward that he'll give us a representative product on the field. If the play calling stays like it is with Dak getting out of the pocket and give the receivers a chance to help him out, I feel it will do good going forward. The Eagles, they're okay in terms of me, because when I say okay, because they really haven't been tested yet with a team of our caliber. So it remains to be seen exactly what they could do. But I will say that we will test them on both sides of the ball, but sticking strictly to the offense right now, if Dak does what he did last game, McCarthy continues that same vein of play calling, I feel confident.
Okay. Debo?
Yeah.
Man, I'm just gonna piggyback off what y'all was saying. For me, for the most part, it really falls in the lap of Dak. You know, he gotta show up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just my biggest thing with him is, you know, he sits in the pocket a little too long. He sees the pressure, he has to move. And I feel like he made that adjustment early. And he, like I said, we playing against some dogs. You know what I mean? So come next week or Sunday, he better go ahead and move early. You know what I mean?
But you know, in all fairness, Davo, you know, we got to admit now, every time he didn't have a chance because that left side, that left tackle, he was like a matador there for a minute. And I mean, he didn't have a chance to go anywhere.
It took him a minute to warm up. It took him a drive to warm up.
Yeah. So
I mean,
if they can take it, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things from my analysis of the game from the tackles, right? So really, it wasn't the left tackle, but for them the first two plays.
Yeah, he came
against Terrence Steele on the other side. Terrence Steele still ain't recovered from the ACL, in my opinion, to be honest.
He like he a step slow. You're right.
Yeah, I think that.
So and then the other sack came straight up the middle. From
you know he gonna
get his. So
he's gonna get at least one.
Yeah, you know that's like
one.
Exactly. So
which is why Parsons was successful going straight up the middle. It's hard for a center to hack a ball and block somebody. Yeah,
that was a well-designed defensive attack right there.
Right. I think the thing that EJ, the thing that kind of you said the Eagles haven't been tested. In my opinion, they've been tested. You know, I look at the Dolphins' offense, and the Eagles went up against them and slapped them in the face. So I say
you don't think the Dolphins are a one-trick pony though, for the most part? I mean, that pony is a big ass and hell pony. I mean, if you can contain that pony, you can beat them.
But they ain't a one-trick pony. They a 15-car Ferrari. They got everybody with speed. I mean, now they got some injuries.
Who they got only one true one that's a consistent threat. Waddle been in and out. The running backs been in and out. So the only common denominator is Mr. Hill. Right, and it allows. I mean, when they get up, it allows defenses to play. Now I look at this, man. People don't realize what I guess I see this differently. If you take away our defensive scores, we were in the bottom in the league in terms of scoring. So that's an offensive problem. Now I like the pass game because you look at what Dak can do from a percentage standpoint. Now,
even before, his percent is up. His yards per.
We were running the ball better early on too, though. We were running on a little better in those 2 games. Yeah, because
McCarthy said, "I'm gonna focus on the run." I think you focus on winning, not focus on the run. Don't focus on the pass. You focus on what worked for that game. I know the first 15 or 20 plays are scripted, but after that, that's the play. That's the game.
The only problem with that is he let everybody else know what his game plan was too. Was that we were focused on the run, and people played us. They played us for that.
And we ran the most vanilla shit like ever. Like, if you're gonna run it and everybody know you run it, at least make it a little exotic or switch it up, misdirection or something. You know what I mean? Help everybody else out in the building.
Yeah, you can't keep slamming Pollard into the back of his doggone center like that. No. He's not built for that.
Right. He's not built for that, and we keep adding to the fact that what I did like in the last game, people say, okay, we got CD involved. That's my boy CD. You can see him in the back, but that's not what I was impressed about. I expected that from CD. Kevontae Turbin and Brandon Cooks is who I wanted to see show up. But we got no height at receiver, to be honest with you. So,
I mean, that's what the league is now. It's all fast receiver. Get the ball in play, make your hands, and let them rip.
Well, let's ask the Eagles that with A.J. Brown.
Well, I mean, he's the minority when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying?
Ask the Falcons about DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, the height still is real. I mean, you can.
But how many of those you got?
2, maybe.
How many you got? You don't have that many.
Brown?
No. Hopkins.
Receivers with Hopkins.
Hopkins about 6'1".
Yeah. So
I mean, AJ Brown 6'3", 6'2".
Yeah, so you're right about that because they all moved to tight end. Travis Kelce and all those guys, they would all be wide receivers on the outside, plucking the ball.
But that's how the game's evolving, though. You know what I mean?
AJ Brown 6'1".
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He played like he's 6'3",
6'4".
He's just stocky. He real stocky. He's big.
I mean, but how he plays, like his stride, his catch radius. He plays like he's like 6'4", like no cap.
I'm saying, but let me put on the same radius as Dez. You thought Dez was probably 6'4", 6'5", but he was 6'2". You know what I mean? Yeah, it just looked big. Like they just look huge.
That's really like Devontae Adams. He look like he's about 6'5".
Right, bro. They just huge receivers.
Yeah. So our biggest receiver outside of CD is Gallup, and I really haven't.
No. You said say it again. You said he the what receiver?
He's our tallest receiver outside.
Oh, God. No, I'm sorry.
Besides Lamb, right? So Gallup and Gallup just don't play like he's tall.
Don't.
I don't see Gallup.
Can I ask you? Can you give me your personal feelings about Gallup, please?
Here we go.
I'm just curious. I just want to hear your unbiased opinion before any of us say anything. Go ahead. Please.
So I'm a Gallup fan. I'm very disappointed in the brother.
I'm glad you paused. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I love his toe tap, but he's a body catcher, and in my opinion, for playing on the outside where he play, he need to be bodying the ball. He doesn't come back to the ball. He doesn't fight for the ball. So that ball better be on him, on the outside shoulder, or on him in his chest, or that's it. I mean, he's got his catch game is very, very limited. And then his yak is zero.
Hey, boy, you a minister preaching to a damn choir now. These two niggas here, boy. You a minister preaching to the choir. Hey, you said the words they long to hear.
Let the pastor finish preaching. Let the pastor finish preaching. Go ahead.
You said the words they long to hear.
But here's the thing. How many touchdowns Gallup got this year? Anybody know?
Does he have? He got one?
Oh, I got it right here. I got it right here. Hold up.
Yeah.
When he scored?
Not a damn time.
Yeah, exactly. He dropped.
He dropped one. He dropped one. That list 0 touchdowns. Let me find his damn drop though.
Hey,
he got up in the top 10.
But how many throws has he had in the end zone?
No, he's dropped 2
about the same amount.
He's dropped 2.
But you know why?
In a game.
Hey,
and who has it? And who has it?
He's never open.
What receiver on that team has not dropped a pass or two? And don't even start with CD.
No, I can't say that. That's a fact. But his percent of
he dropped one ball out of 12 on Sunday, bro.
But look at the number of targets, gentlemen. Look at the number of targets.
The number of catches, though.
Yeah, but he's right. He's right.
You got to look at the target. The man is getting more opportunity. They don't hardly ever throw the ball to Gallup.
If you think if CD got 12, no, I'm sorry. If Gallup got 12 targets on Sunday, how many honors do you think he would have cut?
4.
Be honest.
If he got 12 opportunities?
If you would have got them exact same targets that CD got on Sunday, how you think he would have fared?
Would have lost.
I can't say that. I'm not even speculating that. Y'all know how I feel about that.
Yeah, you saw them catches CD was making, bro.
I understand. You also know the opportunities he's got and where he was getting them at.
But let me say something.
They pretty much schemed him open, though.
But let me say this. The reason why Gallup is not getting the opportunities is because he's not open. He doesn't get open. His route tree is very limited. When he throw a slant to him, we have to hold our breaths. Like, we really have to hold our breath. If it pops off his shoulder pads, it's gonna be a pick, and then we gotta bash Dak and say, "Man, was that a bad throw, or was that on the receiver?" Like that. That's why he's in a negative light.
I'm not gonna get into a defend.
I'm just saying.
Motion tonight, but I mean I agree with 80% of what you guys are saying about him, but it's just that he just doesn't get the same number of targets that he used to get. And I mean, you got to take that into it. The man is coming off several big injuries, So, hey, a lot of that comes into play as well.
I'm going to say this. I like McCarthy enough to tell you this. I think he's smart enough to play these guys the right amount to save them for the long run. I think McCarthy knows how to get a team to the Super Bowl, knows how I can't just burn these guys out. I can't let everything out of the bag, because Gallup's best plays always have been that long ball down the field off that sideline.
Oh, that sideline, right.
Right. And we limited that because we don't need it right now, because the defense has played so well. We haven't had to take these shots. That's what scares me. When you go up against an offense that can play, that defense, like in Arizona, that defense got gashed on a couple plays. We can't play from behind. That's what scares me about Dak. He does not have the oomph to play from behind. When I looked at Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and some of the quarterbacks that I just despise, you know what? I knew if they got that ball last or second to last, they were going to put They was going to put 6 in the end zone, no matter what it was.
Like Mr. 9.
And I was going to say, like my boy Romo, we knew when Romo got that ball last, there wasn't a question whether or not we was going in the end zone. And
but you got to admit though, a lot of that falls on the coaches, because they hadn't always called the plays that will get us the early lead. You could pretty much for a while there, you could pretty much dictate our first 3 to 5 plays. You know, it's going to be run, pass. We always put ourselves in long situations. It's just not, we just weren't built. Hopefully we're going forward, we'll change some of that, but a lot of that was play calling that put us behind.
I'm going to agree with you and disagree. Some of that's play calling. First 15 plays, we all know in the NFL is scripted. It's a known thing. Everybody scripts the first 15, 20 plays. But what I see is Dak, what I've been hearing and reading is Dak got full control over the offense. He can audible up to 3 plays at the line and call his own plays if he needs to.
Has that been the
Dak is a veteran quarterback in the NFL, $40 million quarterback. He's responsible if that play doesn't look right. That scheme doesn't look right. But if you look at like I do, I look at
you check out of it, right?
Right. If you look at the NFL tape, them boys be running wide open a lot, and his eyes aren't there. Man, I looked at the sacks. If you look at the sacks and go back and look at Ferguson, he was wide across wide open on that. The Rams are playing zone. All Dak had to do was float that ball before he got sacked. What he was doing, happy feet in there, and he's slow happy feet. And he just tossed the ball. Ferguson was wide open. So he wouldn't even got sacked on that. So to me, I say people keep talking about McCarthy is the problem. And I go, McCarthy's plays actually look like they work. If I was running Madden, I'd run McCarthy's playbook and I'd light up teams. But you got to be able to think quickly in that offense. And I don't think Dak feet, hands, mind, eyes are operating at the level of speed that which McCarthy's playbook has. And so that's a problem, especially if we get behind. Because now defenses play a whole different game when they lead. And that's how we play. We know that when we get two possession, 3 possession lead, but the lion is coming. They all coming. It's a whole other game.
It's time to eat, baby.
It's time to eat. We know it. They know it. So Dak's got to keep the ball and get us the lead. Mm-hmm. And he's got to play field position. I think field position is another thing we haven't talked about. Clock management, field position are 2 things where I think McCarthy is, but he can do some work on that. But again, to the point, I'm gonna go back to Gallup. I just believe that we're setting them down. As soon as they start talking about Cooks not getting the ball, we just calm that down real quick.
And it looked different immediately. It looked different immediately. So you extracted the problem, it looked different immediately.
Well, right. We no longer have that luxury to be able to dress down things, because we get ready to get into the meat of our schedule, and every week, basically, with the exception of the Giants, we running into some buzzsaw. So we whatever we got, we need to be showing going forward, because we don't have that luxury anymore. Whatever play time we have, play time is over.
Washington just got a little weaker. They
Absolutely.
talk about they just got a little weaker, and they still on the schedule twice. But Yeah, I believe you, right? You know, our last half, our last third of the season, or last quarter of the season, got to be one of the toughest.
It's a bet. It's a bet. It's a bet. Yeah. But I believe if we keep going forward, building off of what we just had, past couple games, and trending off of that, I really have confidence that anybody on the rest of our schedule can and should be beat if we just trend from that and keep going forward and don't look back. And we already know the defense, they're going to do their thing. But I'm speaking strictly offensively now going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those fast starts is imperative, you know, for the success of our season, period. Like, you know, Matt was saying, I mean, you know, if we start out behind, Dak is struggling, and we get 3 and outs and stuff starting the game out, the defense, that takes a toll on the defense, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of changed the way they move eventually, you know what I'm saying? When they get like 2 and 3 or 4 3 and outs consecutively, the boys start trending down. That's the way I have to think with the 49ers and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm hoping that's not going to be the case this Sunday when we play against these Eagles. How y'all feel that's going to fare?
Oh, the Eagles. I'm not going to give my predictions quite yet, but I'll just say
too early in the week.
It's not too early in the week. I just don't want to spoil it off for your audience. But what I would say is the Eagles match up with us very well on defense to offense. Mm-hmm. They strengthened their team multiple times this season where they had weaknesses, and there are no more weaknesses. I mean, they got Bird, the only person to ever pick off Dak. He's picked off Dak the most of anybody, single person, and they put him on the team and said, "We're gonna play you twice with him."
Smart move.
Right?
Move.
So
just move.
The front office of the Eagles, I'm envious of, because I don't think the Jones family has the wherewithal to understand the value of win now versus we're gonna keep drafting, because it's us, right? We spending money, right? Look at this. We got all this money. We got all this, you know, we spending money, and they're businessmen. I respect them for businessmen.
Oh, yeah.
They don't appear to be GMs. They're not looking to win. They can give me lip service all they want, but I know what winners look like.
They want that star power.
They want the star power, because
that's how they look. That's the bottom line.
Even the Broncos, even if they miss,
mm-hmm.
they swung for the fence to try to win.
Agreed.
The 49ers, they gonna swing for the fence.
At least they tried.
They tried. The Rams, they swung for the fence, won. Right? All these teams are gonna swing for the fence and have an opportunity.
They won more than once, you know what I'm saying? But they got one out of it.
Yeah, and they be like, damn the damn salary cap. We'll take the penalty. I got Jerry talking about.
We used to be that way.
Yeah. So
now we're best for less team now. We want the best for less.
Best for less. Yeah,
that's the team that don't want to win. I mean, Jerry, the Jones family, I ain't even say it's Jerry. I'm gonna say the whole Jones family is up to, let's not break the bank. Let's put a decent product out there for everybody to eat, right? We ain't getting gourmet 5-guy burgers. We getting Burger King. And they say we'll just keep pumping out the same Burger King, and it's decent.
Well, we put on some premium buns.
Right.
But because they know we'll accept it. They know the Cowboy fans are diehard fans. They ain't going nowhere. They're going to accept it, and they know that. So they play on that.
But that's what I was telling Joe last night when he wrote the message. I was like, so back when the Cowboys won Super Bowls, they went and got the best talent. Like you went out and got the best talent that was available that plugged in what you needed to succeed. Like, you need to do that. Like, it don't matter.
Dion.
Yeah, shot Dion right. Like, you need to make it happen, like, in order to win.
And then when they did, what happened?
We see what we got.
We still seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, we've been seeing that for how many years now? Like, so it's like, so when I seen Chase Young go to the 49ers, I'm like, see, 49ers trying to win something, because it's just they didn't really need him. It's just, hey,
they just got Randy Gregory.
Right. You can just put us over the top. Like, you know what I mean? So they just went and got insurance. That's what we need. So I'm just like, so we was really trying to win something, man. We would do something like that.
And we don't know how much this stuff costs. I mean, these players cost. And honestly, I got a conspiracy theory here, and I'm gonna share it with you. I don't think these NFL GMs really like to mess with the Jones family. They don't like to deal with them. I mean, come on now. These teams, some of these teams just sell out, just completely sell out to get rid of players. And we can take those players, but I don't think they want to. I don't think they don't want to see the Cowboys succeed.
You might be right about that. They might give them a different price than they give everybody else.
Right.
They like, I give you a 4th round.
Right. You know the only organization that wills and deals with the Cowboys? The Raiders.
And the Dolphins. And the Dolphins.
Yeah, they Cowboy B team.
Right. Listen, we keep trading Dolphins and Raiders players all the time. You tell me the rest of the teams in the league, the other 20-something teams in the league, we can't make one deal with?
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah, they just seem bizarre to me. So, and then so just from a defensive standpoint, we don't line up well. Offensively, you know, if Trayvon Diggs was out there, Deron Bland, and Steven Gilmore, I say we got them. But without Diggs out there, even with Jordan Lewis playing well, without Diggs out there, and to have Devontae Adams, and to have AJ Brown, and to have and Swift back there with his speed, that's a concern of mine, right?
Yeah,
but look at this. Go ahead, Brad.
No, you go ahead.
No, but look at this. Let's look at the fact that in our last 10 games against the Eagles, we're 8-2. All right. When you talk about what they have now, where they are now, and where we are now, it's just, I think the gap is not that far apart. But what I feel is that they spend a lot of money, and the head of their offense, which is Jalen Hurts right now. First of all, he's not healthy right now. I don't care what nobody say. That's going to be a problem for them.
That's glaring now at this point.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem for them. But I just think that we're able to match up with them well enough. And I won't even use the term "give us a chance." I feel we match up with them well enough to beat them. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I don't waver off of that, because I just don't think that they have, first of all, I don't think they respect us. All right. That goes without saying. They don't have a lot of respect for us.
They talk. You might be right about
that. They're talking. So put that in perspective with the fact that we're on the upswing now. I just feel really confident going into this weekend that some things are going to be a little different than people really expect them to be or really forecast. Nobody gives us a chance against them. Very few people do, and understandably so. They're what, 7-1 now? I mean, you know, that's respect in itself. But I just don't think that the play is going to go as scripted as people have it scripted out, because of the upswing we're in offensively. The defense has been consistent throughout and seemed like we're getting ready to take it to another notch. Those pickoffs that Deron Bland been getting, that's something that we didn't even factor into the play. We was kind of worried about what's happening once Diggs went out. Okay, that's a whole plug now. All right, we've moved Michael Parsons from that end all the time. We're moving around. We made him more effective again. So we've changed the script because they schemed for him. He was ineffective for a couple of games there, but they were scheming for him. All right. Our offensive line, I feel they'll transcend. I mean, there's some weakness. We already know that. But if we put those couple of factors together, Carter's play calling, that getting out of pocket and moving around, giving our receivers a chance, spreading the ball around a little bit more, I feel good about this job.
Debo, what you say? What's your analysis, sir, for this game coming up? What's your prediction?
My analysis, if Dak moves when he needs to move, if the defense continue to play lights out, if the receivers catch the ball when it's delivered, I mean, because Dak is throwing some good balls. I have to give it to him. Like he's putting in the spots where they need to catch it.
That was a sharp pass from Ferguson. That was
correct.
Nice.
Like, but that's the same one he threw to Gallup, and
and the one to Gallup in the end zone, and the one to CD in the end zone, that tight window, that was a tough throw.
Right.
One to Gallup to CD in the end zone, that was a tight throw, and the one to Cooks, that over the shoulder right there. I mean, that thing fell right in the basket.
When you throw it to the right people, it looked right.
Yeah.
So that goes without saying. Like, so these receivers need to just continue to catch the ball. I mean, long as Dak looking in the right direction, and I feel like they need to give Turpin a couple looks, just to switch things up. And I feel like, man, we got a good chance if we can get this run game some kind of going in these big games, man. That's really what's going to really flip the switch for us. So
I agree with you. So now that the half the team is talking, I ain't heard from Brandon yet, but I'll say this: I'm gonna give my opinion now. This game will come down to special teams, and we have the advantage on returners. I think our returner is
over the whole league.
Of course. So they got the same. They got Jake Elliott's gonna kick. He ain't gonna miss. Aubrey ain't gonna miss. So this is gonna come down to field position from punts, kick returns, and turnovers. Mm-hmm. I'm much more confident in our ability to snag a ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands than Dak to throw an interception. So as much as I'm disappointed in Dak, I feel like Dak throws his interceptions in our red zone. So it don't hurt us as bad. It's in our red zone.
But still though, man, that's their interceptions against the Rams, like
he didn't have to use his feet.
It was a tip ball. It was a tip ball.
It was a tip ball.
Still, he wasn't open.
It was a tip ball.
He wasn't open.
We won't know that because of the tip ball. The trajectory changed to the ball. How you gonna say that?
You saw how many white jerseys you saw in there versus blue jerseys.
He threw into 4 players. He threw into 4 players.
No.
I ain't give a damn what angle you looked at. I saw from this angle right here, bro. It wasn't nobody there. Like, bro, it was nothing but Chargers. I mean,
bro, we can't say that though, bro. But he made several tight throws into coverage during the course of the game.
Yeah, but
we can't say that it wasn't there.
But what he's trying to say is, why take those chances in the red zone when you can get at least 3 and you didn't 0 because you don't turn the ball over. Now you are worried about
now we can't have it both ways, gentlemen. When Dak was being too vanilla and not getting the ball downfield and not taking those throws, we was all up in his shit. All right. But now the man is taking chances. I mean, come on, you
can have it both ways.
Last year was an aberration. I mean, last year was an aberration. 15 picks. That's not Dak Prescott. That's not the Dak Prescott that we've known throughout his career. That was an aberration.
He just had a bad year. He had a bad year.
It was a bad year.
And half of those picks, I have to say that it came off the receiver's hands too. But however, too, he put them things in some tight spots to where they had to,
But what quarterback does it? All the good quarterbacks make those throws. You got to be able to make those throws to be successful. The good quarterbacks are able to make those throws. If we want a quarterback of that caliber that we can call a great quarterback, then we got to allow the
let me say this. So when you make those throws, you have to make it to certain people. You can't make it to anybody. You can't throw it to a Noah Brown. You cannot throw it to a whoever tight end, third
Your
string.
Your team won't last long like that. Your team won't last long like that.
It don't matter. You have
if you're only throwing to certain players, you cannot have a team just throwing to certain players. If you're not utilizing your wide receivers to their match, your team is not going to be successful. You can't win throwing the ball to one player all the time.
No, you throw it through the 3-4 targets that you can trust.
Right. That's my point. But you don't.
Number 13.
You only have 3 or 4 on the team.
That's all any team got. That's what you
got.
That's
what I'm trying to tell you. Right.
Look at man, most of these teams throw the same 3 or 4 people and be chilling.
I think we're arguing the same point. My point is that you can't keep throwing the ball to one person and expect to be. So what if they shut that person down? Then what you got? Nobody else has no rhythm.
It don't matter. It's been proven. If your guy is that good, it doesn't matter.
Matt, Matt, let me hear your opinion on that.
He's gonna drop that one, but he gonna catch 12 of them hoes. Like, it don't matter.
Before you speak, Matt, let me say this. I think the issue is they're trying to solidify Gallup as the number 2. He's not the number 2.
I don't think that's the case at all.
Never has been.
He's not number 2.
I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think they're trying to solidify anybody at a number 2. I don't even think they're trying to solidify CD at a number 1 because they haven't been doing that.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I say that. Now, the reason why I say that is because you throw plays to him like a slant route. Them are trusted plays. You have to trust the receiver to throw a slant route because it's either two things going to happen. Right. It's either you're going to catch it or it's going to pop off your body, and you better hope the defense don't catch the ball. So you have this. You trying to solidify him as the number 2 when he's not the number 2. It's CD, and then it's Brandon Cooks. Then it's whoever.
Yeah,
that's how.
Brandon Cooks hasn't solidified himself as a number 2 yet because we haven't really been throwing in the ball.
Ferguson, correct.
I think we argue the same point.
I think y'all both right, and y'all arguing a similar point. Now, in my opinion, Brandon Cooks is the number 2. It's proven when it's 3rd and short, it's 4th and short. Brandon Cooks, CD Lamb are getting the ball. That's it. So to me, Brandon Cooks is your number 2 because
based on how many targets, though, Matt. He hasn't had. You can count the number of targets he had on less than 2 hands.
No, I'm not basing it on targets. I'm basing it on criticality of play. And I need to trust somebody to catch this ball. He throws it to Brandon Cooks or CD Lamb. He does not throw it to anybody else.
That's my point. You don't know if you can trust him. He hasn't had enough throws. You're trusting him based on reputation. But for Dallas Cowboys, he hasn't had enough targets to solidify himself.
Wait. I'm basing this on evidence. I'm gonna go Google this for you if I need to. But when it's 3rd and short, when it's 4th and short, Brandon Cooks is the guy that we're throwing the ball to, and it's been like that since week 1. The problem is because our defense is playing so well, we don't have that situation. Now that doesn't happen in the red zone. In the red zone, Brandon Cooks is evaporate. They don't even look his way.
They don't use it as a decoy, and I hate it.
They use him as a decoy or something. So in my opinion, Brandon Cooks, although he is not getting the number of targets, he's been not schemed to get the number of targets when he needs to. But when it's 3rd and short, when it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and we decide to throw the ball, Brandon Cooks is getting that ball because he's guaranteed to catch that ball. Just the way he catches the ball and goes down shows he is secure catch Cooks. Now, let me flip this a little bit differently, kind of push this conversation just a little bit differently because I heard some things. What I will tell you about Dak, what's always concerned me about Dak. So this is not this season. It wasn't last year with the interceptions. Dak does not throw players open. That you need to be open. And if you were to look at a lot of our hitch routes and our comeback routes, those are the routes that he throws to Gallup. Those are the routes he throws to CD even. CD got to jump up in the air, get somersaulted around because it's a comeback route, and he's getting undercut in the bottom. A lot of what Dak throws is, I got to see your numbers to get you this ball. So there's no –
you got to say my name. You got to mouth my name.
Dak, give me the ball, bro. That's where he at. So even
boy, y'all are hard on my boy. Y'all are hard on my boy. I respect that.
You know what? You're gonna come back next week and you're gonna be like, man, Matt was right. You're gonna look at it. When Dak throws this ball to players, and I'm throwing a comeback, and you look at elite teams, they stop, come around, that ball is on them already. Before they stop, they're turning around the ball.
They're doing like this coming out their break. They ain't turning around, it's out.
The touchdown to Brandon Cooks, you don't consider that a throw open?
That was a planned throw.
That's what I'm saying. That was a planned throw. That is speed. That's what I said. That is pure. I know I got speed, and you got to also remember conditions of the game.
Exactly. That's what throwing open is. Throwing to a spot.
No. Wait.
Throwing to a spot.
No,
that ball was thrown to the corner end zone, and he ran under it.
Right. No. So here's the reality. First off, that wasn't an in stride catch.
That's a safety net.
It's It fell right in his hand, man.
Oh, he had
You
to
know
stop.
why? It's a safety route because he is so fast. It don't matter. It's a timing route.
So here's the thing:
it's either you're going to catch it or you're going to drop it because it's not there.
We have to agree to disagree on that.
We agree to disagree on that. That was a hell of a throw, but it still wasn't here. Where did Brandon Cooks catch that ball? He caught it like I gotta stop and catch it right here.
It fell right in his chest. Right in his chest.
That's the point. He had to stop. He had to kind of stop. He got a body
inside.
I don't watch the game 5 times, so I know every play by heart. Trust me. He did not have to. He had to stop. Brandon Cooks had to stop to catch that ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, also that type of risk throw, I'm not worried about Dak when we up by 2 touchdowns, by 3 touchdowns.
But it was
That's
far
not what I'm
away
worried
in the
about.
corner where
That game was over. That game was over in the first half. That touchdown was in the 4th quarter. That's not a concern of mine. I look at what Dak can do when the pressure's on. And we always talk about what is Dak's biggest criticism? When the lights are on, the pressure is on, that's when he fails. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking, he got $40 million because the lights ain't always on.
Thanks.
If the lights
let me interject there for a second. I'm glad you brought that point up. All right. Dak Prescott, for most of his career as a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys has always been rated within the top 5 or 6 offensively. Okay? That gets all the credit for the things that he doesn't do. But he gets hardly any of the credit for having one of the best leading offenses in the league. And you can Google, look stats up, anything you want to do on this, because I know what I'm talking about. The Cowboys have had one of the top 5 offensive in the league during most of his career. That doesn't happen without a quarterback. That doesn't happen without a quarterback.
I'm not gonna argue that Dak is not a mediocre, above average quarterback. But
well, if he's one of how many quarterbacks in the league?
He's 32. He's working 32 in the league, and he's
about 132, leading a top 5 offense. And
he's ranked 14.
That only makes him somewhere a little above a mediocre. Come on now, you guys got to be fair.
He's ranked 14th at best. At best, look, he got 6 TDs this season. 6.
You watch too much First Take, man.
That's a legit stat, though.
He got 6 TDs this season. You're talking about you've gone through 5. He got less TDs than we play games.
So how do we become one of the top rating offensive in the league? Is he not directly responsible for the offense?
Listen,
you want to give him the credit for the bad things that happen, but you won't want to give him the credit for the good things that happen, which is being one of the top offensive in the league. You can't deny that.
There's 2 things I count.
The man the props.
There's 2 things I count. Offense don't mean nothing if you don't get the ball in the end zone, and we had the bottom third of the league in getting the ball in the end zone.
That's your personal opinion about an offense. We're talking about the overall operation of an offense.
And this
We're talking about the overall rating of a team in the league in terms of being a top tier offense. That doesn't happen without a quarterback. I don't care what you guys say. It doesn't happen without a quarterback.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It don't happen.
The ball doesn't put itself in players' hands.
I'll say this: Dak Prescott is ranked at best 10 in the league. The 10th ranked quarterback in the league don't win Super Bowls.
And you know what? I won't even argue that point with you. You're probably right. I wouldn't even argue that point with you. But all I'm saying is that don't browbeat the man down for what he doesn't do without recognizing the things that he does do. And that's the problem I have with analysts, with sports shows, and all the above. They're always willing to look at the negatives, but never do they look at the positive. And very rarely is the point that I made just now brought up in any of these shows when they're talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. Very rarely. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever heard it brought up. That point I just made.
I hear it brought up a lot. And the counter argument is so compelling, it gets squashed all the time.
I've not heard it talked about it, but I'll be willing to hear it.
The counter argument is when it counts in the red zone, when it comes to putting a TD in the end zone, we fail. And prior to that, we got in the red zone when Zeke was best Zeke is Zeke. When we got close to 7, 8 yards from the end zone, you just hand the ball off and you let us get in. That was a part of the success that we had, so successful, even from his rookie year. When we got close, hey, Zeke, take it in, muscle buddy, take it in. That's what we were successful on. You take Zeke out of the mix.
Zeke was a cheat code. He was a cheat code.
Zeke was a cheat code in that red zone. So before you get to the red zone, Dak is phenomenal. Don't even let me. I'm gonna go ahead and say it for the record. This is recorded, right, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Because Dak is elite when you put him between 30 and 30. Between the 30s, he's elite. When you before the 30s, when he's backed up, and then when you get on the other side of 30, you know how many times we on the 30-yard line, we're in field goal range. Dak take 2 sacks in a row, we out of field goal range.
You know, like your whole totally different offense came on the field.
Just as much as you mentioned that about Zeke, Zeke is just as much, and I won't put that on Zeke, but Zeke is just as much. Zeke and coaching is just as much responsible for our red zone woes than anything else. 1, because they're trying to run Zeke through brick walls. 2, because they're calling the wrong. The coaches are calling wrong plays in the red zone. That's just as much responsible as everything else.
Right. You're saying we trying to run power like he's Zeke.
Oh yeah. Now I'm talking about prior to I'm talking about during Zeke's era. During that point, any red zone woes we had were either calling the wrong plays and trying to run Zeke through brick walls, which he couldn't always get through them. He got through them sometimes, and calling the wrong plays in the red zone.
Yeah, and that happens to be a lot. Now, I'm gonna be fair and talk about the holistic piece of Dak's career. I've never seen a quarterback get so many offensive coordinators fired. I ain't never seen a quarterback get that many offensive coordinators fired. So something got to be up.
You gonna put that on Dak? You gonna put that on Dak? They fired themselves because of the dumb shit that was calling. That dumb, you guys know we've all complained about the play calling throughout the last 10 years of Dak's career. We've all had that complaint. Come on, man, you can't put that on Dak. Now you got to be fair, Dak. Come on, let's be real. Let's keep real. You can't put that shit on Dak like that now. That's just too much. Come on, now. Dang, boy, man, that should have a damn back with all that weight y'all putting in. So y'all putting damn big balls on his back, man. Come on.
Dak said pour the honey over him and let the Bears grab him, right? What did he say? Pour the honey over him?
Hey, somebody go put some honey on him this week, I hope. man, yeah, man, y'all can't put all that on Dak like that, man. I can't let you do that, bro. Come on, he's one man. One man.
So
there's a whole lot. We've all complained about the Dallas Cowboy coaches. We complained about Jason Garrett. I mean, the list goes on and on. We've all complained about the coaches, but it all comes back somehow or another. That's the only problem I got with it. If you're gonna blame, place blame, share the blame around. One man is not responsible for an entire team and its success. He plays the biggest role, but he's not responsible for all of it. You're going to be fair. Be fair.
No, I'm going to be fair because every game we've lost, I'm talking about not we now let me say this. Every game we got beat, not every game we lost, but every game we got beat in probably the last 3 or 4 years, it hasn't been just Dak throwing interceptions. But that's a common denominator. But the other common denominator we're not talking about is the fact that we're the highest penalized team. We break records on penalties the games we get beat. So that's not Dak necessarily. Rarely the quarterback is getting a penalty. So that's offensive line. That's defense extending plays because we're defensive holding. So
that's a good point.
To be fair, when we get beat, like we got beat in San Francisco, in my opinion, how we got beat in Arizona, we had the most penalties. Those 2 games, we had at least 20 penalties both games.
That was a very
that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. It was pathetic.
It was pathetic. And I don't even agree with all the penalties. So something else is up. So on those games we're getting beat, it's something else going on.
But penalties stem from lack of discipline. Lack of discipline stems from where?
I'm not gonna say it's lack of discipline because the NFL is so inconsistent on their play on their referees and how they call penalties. It's not just the coach. It is sometimes. I'm a referee, and I decide the Cowboys.
But those are glaring, though. But most of those are glaring. Most of those, what you just described, most of them are glaring.
Well,
you know,
here's the thing. It's not that they're glaring. There's a penalty on every single play in the NFL. There's a penalty on every single play. It's the ref's decision decides, was that penalty contributing to somebody getting the yards or not getting the yards? And the refs are supposed to use their discretion to do that because there's a penalty on every call. Every single play. Every single play is a penalty. So to me, that's not necessarily just discipline because they like to say, oh, McCarthy, this, that, and the other because of that. I'm going to defend McCarthy for a little bit because if I was to look at the game against the Rams and I go look at the game against the 49ers, I can call out about 15 penalties that they called in one game and they didn't call in the other game. And it's just that evident. I mean, we got the break of some of those. I mean, that little, I don't know what, that was a touch on the back and we extended 3rd and 8 on the first drive of the first drive of the game when we got 7 points. That wasn't a penalty. Nothing compared to the one that they did.
The Rams game was just horrible across the board. That was just from both sides. That was just, they just did a terrible job across the board in that game, you know. But yeah, I get your point.
So to me, that's another piece to it. But Brandon, let me be host for a little bit and ask you the question.
Okay.
I want to pivot this comment because this is why I had really in my heart I was upset this week about, especially today. And we got the trade deadline, and we've talked about. Listen, the reason why Dak is part of this conversation because he's the leader of them boys. But the reality is, we all trusted him. We said we were all confident Pollard can make it happen. We were all confident Pollard can make it happen, but we all saw that we need meat. We need some thickness up there. We need some umph. And the fact that we go back to the deadline without getting some umph, to me, it don't even make any sense to me. And you can't trust what we got, right? I mean,
in most spots you can, but it's certain holes that could.
I'm a running back. I'm specifically talking about the running back. Was it Dixon back there? Who's our
Dowdle. He's solid. He's solid.
He's fast. He's fast. He's nifty. But he's got to have speed. He's got to have 3 or 4 steps.
He hits the hole hard.
No, he's got 3 or 4 steps before he gets enough momentum to push the pile. I'm talking about somebody who's got the ability that when it's stuffed to bounce it and push the pile.
Say Deuce Vaughn. We got a man at our man bench. Deuce Vaughn. Where's he at? You saw what Deuce could do in the preseason.
This is a mystery.
Right. Here's the thing. He's inactive. I mean, he ain't even backing up. He's inactive.
Exactly. Why? That man was running for 6 and 7 yards a pop every time he touched the ball in preseason. Nifty. He had the strength to change direction. He had the whole package, and they banished this man to the bench. Now, getting back to what you said earlier, or one of you, I can't remember what you said, maybe we're just not trying to show everything right now because that's the only reason that I can think that man shouldn't be on that field playing for us right now.
He does have 2 yards per attempt, by the way. He got 40 yards on 20 attempts. So that's
how many attempts he got?
20.
Really?
He got 20 rushing attempts, 40 yards, and 2 yards of rush, no touchdown.
So that's regular season?
That's crazy. He snuck them hoes in.
Yeah, he did.
Back door.
Hey, see them. I must have went upstairs. I must have went upstairs and made a drink when them happened.
We were winning 40 to nothing. We were winning 40 to nothing. That's what happened.
We definitely walked away in.
Yeah, so we was playing them when we was way up on them first 3 games of the season. He got some play, but I think he's still a talent. I think he's still got some ability, but you can't.
That's what I was about to ask you. What do you think as far as
put him behind the first string? I don't want to see his ass behind the blowout 3rd string. Exactly. Let me see him rock behind
right,
and let him get some. You know what I'm saying? Running start.
So my assessment of why our run game hurts. We also have yet to have the same starting line for a game. 7 straight games. Different line. And the only time we've had the starting 5 that's supposed to start from the roster, the Madden starting 5, they was on the field 3 plays. They was on the field 3 plays before somebody got hurt. So, I mean, the reality is if your offensive line that you tout as your ability to run can't get there, it can't be on the field, that's a problem. And you can't adapt to that. And to me, Pollard, Deuce Vaughn, they got the similar ability where I think Pollard's got a little bit muscle to get past people. That's age, that's time in the NFL. Rico will get there with his speed. Not Rico, Deuce will get there with his speed. Rico's been in the league a decent amount of time, and Rico ain't no rookie. So he got some he just got low miles.
Yeah.
I think he can do it, but if it was me, the common consensus is Tony Pollard is a 1.5 at best. He's not a 1. And if you would have put Derrick Henry on this team, you would have been able to see how dynamic Tony Pollard was. Because to me, the real reason why we were tough last year and why Tony looked so good was because the gas was out on Zeke. And Derrick don't have gas. I don't know what he in a hybrid or something.
Hey, he might be legend, bro. I think he all
legend.
Yeah, he on something else.
He's
if you have an opportunity to put that legendary person on your team, even if you sat him on the bench and said, I'm going to just waste that second-round pick on him, you waste that second-round pick on him because he's that.
What they asking for a first?
Who, Tennessee was asking for a first on him?
What if there was?
If they were asking for a first, I'd give him a 2025 first. I'd give a 2025 first.
What if they want that 24?
I'd have gave
even better. Even better. Because I want a 24 first because if we in the Super Bowl, that's 32nd pick.
Boom.
That's a second-round pick.
Boom.
Win the game.
Exactly.
Win the game. Don't worry about them draft picks.
Which, guess what? A 32nd pick, which to me is a second-round pick. So, therefore, you spend it. That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. That's exactly what I've been trying to say. That's why you spend them picks.
I agree.
Because you're going to get
what
you
same
need.
Philosophy. If you get going for a player that's super legit that can change your team overnight, you got to spend that one.
And guess
you know you don't need a quarterback in the next 5 seasons because Trey Lance and Dak Prescott is what you got. Because I believe Trey Lance can take over Dak Prescott fairly short. Not this season. I ain't drinking that kind of Kool-Aid. Maybe 2 seasons. But that's why I said 5. I said 5 seasons.
I'm not gonna even touch that one.
I said 5 seasons.
Hey,
I'm not gonna even touch that one. No comment. Hey, file me under no comment.
Hey, when that guaranteed money up,
with capital letters, a capital N and a capital C.
When that guaranteed money up.
So you know you don't need to draft a QB in the first round anytime soon. So go ahead and get rid of that pick. Outside of that, you can get solid talent, even proving that you can get a QB in the 4th round, 7th round.
That line need to be flipped. It's time to flip the line.
It is time to flip the line, but look at college football. I mean, we know this not talking about college football, but the reality is you can find. All I got to do is go pluck one or 2 players from UGA, 1 or 2 players from Alabama, 1 or 2 players from Texas.
But when it comes to the line, I'm starting to find that these boys not coming in abundance like they used to. The quality. Now you can get them, but those top elite guys not coming out as often as they once were.
No, you can always find a good lineman from Wisconsin.
You surely can.
They're gonna have them, but Wisconsin gonna have them. Hey, you can get you a good lineman off of Wisconsin bench.
I'm talking about elites. Yeah, we drafted some. Travis Frazier was legit. Boy, too. With Tyler Biadasz.
Yeah, but he went first round.
He's solid. Yeah, he wasn't, but he's solid. But I'm talking about elites. We need elites like the Tyron when he came out.
Terrence Steele wasn't the first round.
No, but I mean, how often do you find those gems like that?
Okay, look at we playing the Eagles. Look at the Eagles front line. How many first rounders on that front line?
At least 3.
You think they got 3 first rounders on their offensive line?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either.
You take a gander. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I'm gonna see if I can Google faster than you.
All right. So what I'm gonna say too is about them picks. You hit it right on the head. We should have just went ahead and used those picks. Like, if you're trying to go out and get something, let's go get it. Like, it's going to be a late pick anyway. Mm-hmm. So why not? Like, anything we need to plug, fine. Okay, well, we'll just get it whenever our pick come up. Mm-hmm. But let's get this Super Bowl. Like, man, the drought has been long. Like, we're tired of waiting.
Yeah, we overdue.
Most of our best picks been in the later rounds anyway.
Exactly. Man, look, listen.
Mid round, we do good in the mid.
I was just telling Butter this. We drafted our second round. Think about it. Our second round picks. What was it? Who was our second round pick last year? You got to think about the bus. Year before that. Year before that
was
bus. Think about it.
No.
Yes, it was. Our second round pick was your boy, the cornerback, Joseph.
Yeah. No, 3 years ago. Not 3 years.
No, Joseph was 3 years ago.
Bus.
Yeah.
Another second round pick. Who was our other second round pick?
Schoolmaker this year. That was pretty good. I thought Schoolmaker was a good pick.
Schoolmaker gonna be all right.
I think he'll be all right.
He's good.
But again, he's not number one.
Nah. Not yet.
Sam Williams was second round last year. That was a good pick.
Now, he's not a bust, but he's not a bust. Listen to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
He's not a bust, but he's a head case. He's a problem. He's just like Randy Gregory. He's a Randy Gregory. He's a Randy.
But them using your best ball players in head cases.
Yeah, you gotta have some intelligence with it.
Hey, you just have to be able to take the good with the bad.
I think he's lacking awareness
and pray on the rest.
Listen. That's what I'm saying. Let me make my point.
We don't have some good head cases. They just don't stick around long enough.
Again, if you can't rely on, what's the point of having them? So I'm saying, so Sam Williams not gonna last long because he's one more issue from being our team. Trust me, he's one more issue from being our team. So Randy Gregory was a second round pick. Terrible. Anyway, he ain't played.
Randy was tough, bro.
Randy was good, man. Randy was good. You can't take that away. Randy, man.
That field, Randy.
That's the only reason Jerry kept winning so many champions.
Let me make my point.
Go for it, man.
A second round pick is supposed to last. These are high picks in the draft. So you're telling me this man has sat out 1 or 2 years? We still gave him another chance. So I'm saying, so it's like,
damn,
what are you doing? Like these picks, man, spend them picks on somebody you know has been in the league and is proven, and you know it's gonna help your team. That's my whole point about it. What's the lineman name? He was a second, third round pick too. Tristan something.
Hill.
Where he at? Who he play for?
Good question.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll wait. Right.
Arena league.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, so I'm trying to make my point. Like these man spend them picks, man. So I'm saying, like this man, Chase Young just went for a third round pick. Come on now.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you ain't gonna take no chance on that?
Something might be going on with him too, though.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter. Let him come to my organization. Let me find out what it is. Yeah. So I'm saying,
I'm gonna say this. 2021, despite Kelvin Joseph being a complete head case, and they knew he was gonna be a head case. He couldn't even stay on the LSU team. He was at Kentucky. They knew he was gonna be a head case.
Right.
First and third round, I got damn. That is stupid. Michael Parsons and O.C. Digazua, bro, I tell you, they hit it like gold on them first and second, third round. So 2021 looked pretty good. Nashawn Wright, you know, he cost me a penalty. He in my doghouse for a long time because that was
never been a fan.
He was to that. I mean, that was to the house. I was like, hold on. So and then he had irrelevant too. He never got on the field. Josh Paul couldn't stay healthy. Simi Fioco couldn't do nothing. Quinn Bohanna ain't on the team no more. I mean, really, 2021 was a decent year overall. I mean, they've draft well, and I don't like to say they draft well because I don't, for some reason, I just draft day, I feel unenthused after we finish. But it's panned out.
Every year?
Oh, in total. What year have you been like, man, we knocked it out of the park every year?
You ain't gonna never
year. There's been a few that I was like, oh, shit, we came up.
Let me tell you what I can say is from 2020 to now, that's 3 drafts in a row. The Eagles knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie about that.
So
they get A+ the last 3 years.
And we don't get that. We don't get that. And so to me, they're not assessing the talent right. And I always look at this from a talent standpoint. Go get the players that can win in D1 college football at the big level. So if you're not picking from the top, if they're not in the top 5, their team wasn't in the top 5 finishing the season, then they don't need to be in the first 3 rounds. That's just unless it's phenomenal, unless they just off the radar, Josh Allen level type player who came from, I don't know where he came from, some tiny school or whatever he came from. Unless they got some,
but that's a good theory. That's a good theory.
But bringing it back home to this weekend, which is right here in front of us now. What I'm most interested in seeing is that after all the Eagles have done to stack their roster, I want to see where we stack up against that roster as we sit today. That's what I'm most looking forward to more than anything else. I want to see if all that money they spent, all those resources they gave up to get the talent that they got, I want to see where we stack up today. I want to see if Jerry Jones was right, and I'm praying he was, that we'll still be competitive with a team of that caliber. That's all I'm looking forward to for this weekend. And of course, I want to win. I want to win, but
right. And by any means necessary, I want a W. But what I'll say is, I second that with you. I 100% agree with you. And furthermore, what makes me most disappointed, and injuries are a part of the game, but I wanted to see Trayvon Diggs lock down AJ Brown because he's done it the last 2 seasons in a row. AJ has got nothing on us. And so now what's slightly different, you got to remember, Dak and Hurts haven't even played each other in 2 seasons.
True.
Right.
They haven't played against each other in 2 seasons. So this is going to be something unique because Cooper Rush beat him, and then Dak came in and played against their scrubs because they were so far ahead. So they haven't played each other in 2 seasons. So this, even though we 8-2, it just ain't the same thing. I won't put too much credence on 8-2 because that's 6-2, and that was when Hurts was a rookie. So you got to think through that. When you go back, Hurts was a rookie, or fresh on starting. We beat him. Beat him.
Hey, I'm petty like that. When we play division rivals, 8-2 to me. I don't try to distinguish nothing. I don't even care. I'm petty like that. I don't care.
Oh no! If I'm talking to an Eagles fan, for sure, I'm gonna be in their face. 8-2.
Hey, I'm petty. I don't care. I don't care. 8-2 to me. You can distinguish it any way you want to. You can parse it out any way you want to. But 8-2 to me. And I want to see this weekend where we stack up.
It's the funny thing that they were like, that this. I heard some commentators talking about this game isn't a test. I mean, the real talk. I know there's Detroit and I know there's Seattle out there. But the reality is this game is not only for division. No, I'm talking about the NFC.
Oh, NFC, okay.
This isn't for the NFC number 1 seed specifically. But in my mind, this is the number 1 seed. Cowboys win this, we in first place in our division. And the only person that can be potentially tied with us is Detroit and Seattle. Detroit and Seattle would be theoretically tied. I don't know how it pans out, but Seattle ain't played. In my opinion, I don't think Seattle has played.
But based on the eye test, before we do play this game this weekend, do you truly feel that we are legitimate? Like based on what we've seen, we've had a roller coaster season. Based on the performance that we put together thus far, it seems like the wins been great and the losses have been horrible. What's the true us?
I really do think, in my opinion, this team is a little Jekyll and Hyde. What's the only thing I can say has been consistent? There's been one really consistent glaring fact is when you come to Dallas, you come to Arlington, you about to feel it. You about to feel it. That home field crowd is real. The Cowboys, for some reason, I could go into the economics as a politician of it. And people got more money, people traveling more. You get in these airports, they full. And so that means people flying to Dallas, and the Dallas Cowboys fans flying to Dallas and filling these stadiums.
But they flying everywhere. They're flying everywhere. I was in Arizona, man. That stadium was 75% Dallas Cowboy fans. They're flying everywhere for the Cowboys. That's nothing new. We didn't. One thing sticks out in my mind was that game I went to in Dallas with the San Francisco 49ers. I thought we was a damn away team. That was so embarrassing. That was terrible. Thankfully, that has changed, but it took a gradual progress and, a couple of winning seasons over the course of the last few years. But Dallas Cowboy fans travel well. I mean, we go to most other stadiums, we're at least 60 or more percent the majority fan in the stadium. So, I mean, that's
living in Texas for a little while, what I found is most of the Dallas area, that Dallas-Fort Worth areas, they're Cowboys fans. But they're not. When you travel to Atlanta, we are Cowboy fans. It's a big difference. Listen, my lights just went down. This is what happens when you have an automated house. It's bedtime for this house.
Hey, before we go, let's get our predictions, man.
Yeah.
All right.
We've been on over an hour anyway.
But shoot, since y'all been doing most of the talking on the predictions, I predict us to probably win this game. This is going to be a tight one. It's probably going to be like a 24-21. It's going to be a little bit of highlights on both sides of the ball for both teams. But I think we're going to have a strong second half. It's going to be some key moments that happen. It's going to be some turnovers, unfortunately. And I'm hoping it's going to be on their side. I'm really hoping Dak is turning over a new leaf and is going to be mobile like he has been the last two games. And this will be the recipe for success for us through the rest of this year, especially in the playoffs. That's going to be clutch for us. If he brings that Sunday at 4:25 Eastern Standard Time, I think we can win that game by at least 3. I say 24-21 right now, but I really think we can win that thing like 21-31. But what y'all think?
D.O., what you got?
I say my prediction will be I'm gonna go firing because all eyes will be on our game. So feel like we all gonna bring our best punch. We're not gonna try to repeat what happened in the 49ers game. My prediction is 34-31. There'll be a shootout.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna play around with it.
You what?
I said I'm gonna be drunk as hell. Goddamn it, 34-31.
I'm not gonna play around with it. I'm gonna just tell you straight up. I'm going with a 31-24 Dallas.
That's a lot.
You said 31 what?
31-24 Dallas.
I like that.
I'm going to be the anomaly here. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know. I just feel real good about this game. I looked at the weather. It's going to be in the 50s by the end of the game. The low is going to be 48 up in Philly. It's going to be outside. It's going to be 7 mile per hour wind, so it's not going to be that bad. I just feel like something's going to happen. Something's going to happen that we don't know is going to happen. And so I'm going to go 34-17 Cowboys.
I like that too. Okay.
I can get with that.
Yeah.
That's real, man. Hey, I like all y'all predictions because we got a W in all them hoes. So y'all got any more closing remarks y'all want to goddamn shit on this Whiskey Wednesday?
Man.
No, I would say let me just wrap up and just say from my perspective, I appreciate y'all inviting me out as a guest. I hope this is going to be the norm rather than the anomaly because I had a good time tonight talking to my brothers. To you, my brothers, kind of a bunch of ways over. You know what I'm saying? We go to Blue Up, at the same time. So, no, it's been a good time. Yeah, I think we had some good conversations. Time will tell, but I think the Eagles are a strong team. I just feel like the Cowboys got something for them. I feel like we went through that bye week. If you listen to the sideline sounds, y'all watch the sideline sounds yet? Them boys, I think what Curse said. Curse said, "Hey, let's go ahead and knock these boys out. We got business to handle next week." They already knew in the first quarter that the Eagles This whole bye week was all about putting it together for the Eagles, and they said we need to knock Rams out quick so we can go and get ready and rested for that. Look at the injury play. If you look at the injury list for today, we got a whole lot of players sitting down, and they ain't sitting down because they're injured.
They rested. Yep, you're right.
They were rested,
bro. There's a war.
So to me, I think the Cowboys are coming to play. For them, this is not a regular game. This is it. This right here gets the monkey off the back for the rest of the season. They buy themselves a lot of time from the media standpoint by putting a real good W on the table here in Philadelphia and knowing that if Philly's got to win again, they got to come to Dallas and win. And that's going to be one hell of a hard thing to do.
The league will be watching this game. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
They will be watching this game.
This is a put on notice game. So to me, I think the Cowboys are playing this right. If they're strategic like I'm strategic, this is playing right into they what happened with the Rams facilitated them getting a lot of rest. We were able to sit almost everybody down except for the defense who don't ever. Dan Quinn can't get none of his boys to sit down. And be ready. And I think we're just gonna be ready for them. And I think the weather's gonna help. We don't have wet balls. We don't have crazy. This is going to be a really strong game.
You don't like no change in weather.
You don't like
Cali weather, mo.
Here we go with Dak again. Oh boy, we can't end on a good note. We got to put some shade. Got to throw a little left and shade at that. I tell you, boy, y'all too much, man. Y'all too much.
Early November and a good. That's a good. They got Philly in an early November game. And we're prepping up, so we got our Thanksgiving bye that comes up when we get 8 days, 9 days rest. So if we can do really strong, I mean, after you get past this win with Philly, I think we're going to get this win with Philly. We got the Giants, where I think we got their number, and we got them in Dallas. We got the Carolina Panthers, which I think we should destroy. We should absolutely destroy the Carolina Panthers. So really, you're talking about we could end up being 9-2. Before we hit that last haul that I talked about earlier in the call, earlier in the week, in the call, that it's going to be tough when we hit them Dolphins and the rest of them. And I even think the Eagles going to come back and play really strong even in Dallas. But the reality is coming out 9-2 is going to be real strong because that's going to already put us in a playoff contention spot. And I think if we can get some help, we might be the first seed. And I'm just going to hold off on saying we're going to be the first seed. I'm just say we might be the first seed. Because things are aligning really well to us. Some injuries are going in our favor after we had a really bad one with Trayvon. I don't want no injuries on any players. I want to see
some losses are taking place. So, yeah.
Some losses that shouldn't be happening that are taking place. So,
right.
Those are my closing statements. Y'all fellas take it home.
All right, bro.
Yeah, man. Based on our current situation, man, with the our record and our schedule that's ahead of us, man, we're in a very keen, vital situation where our future and everything is in our hands. Where we just got to go ahead and handle business and bring it home. Like we can get that home field advantage, man. That would change our odds drastically. Dak at home and on the road, it's night and day. So we can secure that home field advantage, man. That would really increase our odds of winning, the Super Bowl. Man. I really think we have the team to do it. Of course, luck is always involved. You got to have a lot of luck to win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, throughout this first, quarter of the season, we've been relatively healthy. Thank goodness. And I hope that continues to be the trend for us because, usually it isn't. But hope we get some luck on our side throughout the rest of the week, this year. And we can carry that thing on to the Super Bowl. Man, I'll be nice. I'm going to try to be in the building for that thing. But I'm going to tell you good night for this Whiskey Wednesday. I appreciate
everybody take a drink together.
True.
For the Whiskey Wednesday.
Take a quick little shot. Yeah,
I'm good. All mine are empty. I need a third.
Yeah, let's sweet. Let's go combine them and sweet.
I need a third one. Okay.
Re up my little. Yeah, true.
Yeah, I need 3 glasses for the next one. Those didn't quite do it.
Right. Hey man, I brought the big bottle.
No, you ain't running out. You'll run out before you run out.
Yeah, right. Hey, it won't happen there another Whiskey Wednesday.
Right.
All right, salute to you, Cowboy politician. We appreciate having you, brother. Like I said,
Hey, man, good having you on, man.
Yeah, we're gonna try to have it there Wednesday, man. If if y'all, everybody will be available, I'm gonna be here. So
I'm gonna be available.
Let's get it. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Salute.
Out of here.